Shall we see who's in my green room this evening? Yeah! Why don't we? Here they are. My first guest is a proper five-star Hollywood goddess. She is the wonderful Michelle Pfeiffer, ladies and gentlemen. There she is. Hello, Michelle. Wow, doesn't Michelle look fabulous? Now, before we start, I have to declare an interest. Stardust, the movie that Michelle is over here to promote, was written by my wife. OK? Having said that, it has had some great reviews already. Film 2007... Film 2007 gave it 117 stars. I'm not without some criticisms of the movie, though. For example, I thought the writer's name wasn't big enough in the credits. And it is lovely to have you here, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us. Michelle Pfeiffer, ladies and gentlemen. My next guest is the self-styled saviour of Radio 1. He is, of course, Mr. Chris Moyles. There he is. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Lovely to have you here at last.
Yeah.
OK, now, Chris is one of the hardest-working men in radio. That's fair enough, isn't it, Chris? Wouldn't you think so? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you lunging for Michelle?
No, nothing.
What are you reaching down there for?
I just knocked my drink over Michelle Pfeiffer's shoes.
Oh. You clumsy, fat prat.
I'm terribly sorry.
I have apologised, Michelle.
But that sort of sets the tone, doesn't it?
Yeah. My next guests are actors turned long-distance motorcyclists. It's Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman. Hello, gentlemen. How lovely to see you again. Thank you for coming on. You're looking good. And we have fabulous music this evening from the talented and beautiful Roisin Murphy. Is it Roisin? It's Roisin. Hello, Roisin. Hey, I love those shoulders. What's going on with the shoulders there? You've left the hanger in. That's a great look. It takes me back to the 80s. Well done on that. Roisin, you know you've got Chris Moyles in there with you right now. So if you want to get some airplay on Radio 1, I think you know what you have to do.
Don't think you have to escape my mind.
Yeah. No, don't bother with that. Just go out and get him some chips. Anyway, so if someone was coming on to you, you would know. Ewan's looking interested. He thinks he spots a window of opportunity when you get back in there.
No, I'm a little oblivious.
I wouldn't even think about it, Chris. I'm sorry that... Okay.
He was pouring alcohol in my shoes.
Yeah, that's flirting in this country.
I thought that was a little flirtatious.
Yeah. The next thing he does is offer you a bite of his kebab. Say no, OK?
Yeah.
He's a good-looking man, though,
He's a
isn't he?
handsome devil, isn't he?
Yeah. If you turn him upside down, he'd look roughly the same with that beard, wouldn't he? Hang on. I think you do look a bit like Clooney, Chris.
Fuck off.
And you have the same easygoing charm. Shall we get my next guest out, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Men want to be his mate, and women, well, women want their boyfriends to be his mate as well. Will you please welcome Mr. Chris Moyles?
Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. In my mind and in my heart. Radio star.
Hey, Chris, how are you? Looking great. Come and sit down.
I won.
Mr. Chris Moyles.
I won.
Well, you won what?
Sophie and I were watching the show last week at
Yeah.
Mum's house, and Sophie's mum went, "What song will they sing for you when they go on?"
And you guessed correctly.
I said, "I'll be Video Killed the Radio Star."
What song did she...
Mr. Blobby or something.
No. Don't go putting yourself down. We've got 20 minutes where I can do that. Now, listen, Chris.
Jonathan.
How lovely to have you here, Chris.
Thanks.
No, it is.
Who pulled out?
Seriously, I've wanted to have you on for a while now, ever since I met you, because when I first saw you on your radio, I initially thought maybe you were just, a kind of a loudmouth kind of guy, and I didn't know whether... But then when I saw your career, and I've listened to you a few times over the years, and I've met you, and I thought, no, he's a witty guy, and I like what you do, and so I wanted to have you on the show.
That's very sweet of you. A lot of people think I'm a loudmouth yob.
Do people in advance, they judge you? Why do you think that is?
Yeah. I think on the radio I come across as a nice guy. I really do.
Have you listened to your show?
No, I do. The thing is, you've got to be a little bit different on the radio. You've got to stand out a little bit. And so, a good few years ago, I kind of just thought, well, just being honest is the best. No, everyone lies. All DJs lie. And as you know, you know, there's nothing better than telling the truth. So I started doing that, but I think I come across as, you know, people think I'm a nice
I think they
man.
do now. I think maybe when you first started, maybe it was less considered and there was a bit more bluster involved.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit, but then I was 23 when I started on Radio 1.
Fair enough, you're a young man. You're full of vim and vinegar.
I am full of vim and vinegar.
OK, now, this phrase that follows you around, we used it in the introduction there, the self-styled saviour of Radio 1, because that was a pretty clever thing to do, because by saying that, everyone paid attention and said, well, let's see if he can deliver.
Yeah.
And it hasn't come back to haunt you, which is a remarkable...
No, it's brilliant, isn't it?
But there was a big chance it would, of course, at the time. Were you concerned?
No, it makes me look like a genius. Okay. But it was, I mean, it worked really well, because I'd used the saviour line at 3 radio stations before I got to Radio 1.
No, that disappoints me.
Well, yeah. Well, in various guises, I was the saviour of early evening radio, which wasn't a great one, and I was the saviour of late night radio, and then I got to Radio 1. And when I joined Radio 1, luckily, it was a bit shit. Yeah. So I kind of kept using that line, and coincidentally, as I joined, Radio 1 just started to get better. Nothing to do with me.
Oh, so you're being modest. It did have something to do with you.
Well, not then. It does now, obviously. But...
Hey, but no, you're doing the breakfast show, of course. Is this late for you? What time would you normally be up to? Is this past your bedtime?
Well, I go to bed fairly late. I'm not very good at going to bed early.
Because I would imagine, you know, really, especially if you're a young person, you don't want to go to bed early. Even if you're getting up early, you kind of try and push it, don't you? So what time would you normally be hitting the sack?
About 11:30, midnight.
Wow. And then you get up what time?
The alarm goes off about 5.
So it's not too bad, really, then, I suppose. I mean, it's earlier than you'd like, but it's not...
I get about 5 hours, 5 hours sleep a night, and with an extra half hour of sleeping through the alarm and Sophie just nudging me.
Yeah.
Now, unless Sophie's mum's watching, she shouts from the other bedroom.
So how long have you been with your partner?
5 years.
And her parents...
Do you know, I tell you, trust me, because obviously I don't have any photos, she looks like Michelle in Grease 2. She looks a bit like
She's
her.
a beautiful woman.
She's a lovely, beautiful woman.
And is she partially sighted, or she has... No, because it speaks well of you. It speaks well of you.
I can't believe...
What?
I poured beer over Michelle 5 or 6...
Why did you do that? Why did you do that? She's out there now. Why did you do that?
I didn't...
She came out here stinking of beer, I'll be honest with you. She's going home, she stinks. She smells like a common harlot. Thanks to you. You do, I'm sorry, you smell like a slag, and it's thanks to him. I'm sorry, Michelle, I'm just... Why did he do that to you?
I think he was flirting with me.
Yeah, I think he was. He was like, whoops. Whoops, do you fancy some? It was like that, wasn't it?
I had a beer on the table. I thought, if the camera shows the beer, it'll look common. My mum will tell me off. I moved the beer next to my foot. As soon as she said hello, Chris, I kicked the beer, went, hello! Oh, crap. I spilled beer all over Catwoman's feet. And, you know, how embarrassing. Although, what a great story to tell.
Well,
Lads down the pub, you know the bird from the Gangster Paradise video? Poured beer on her shoes.
Hey.